Hey guys, welcome back to Electrical Car Repair Live. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing to the channel. Today will be super helpful video guys to any of you having a Hyundai Tucson and you have oil leaks. Stay with us, we'll explain almost every possible place where you can develop an oil leak, and one of those you hope it doesn't happen because it will involve quite a bit of money and you will spend enormous amount of time to fix it. Now, we'll be demonstrating on a 2.4 GDI engine, but it actually may work on other engines as well. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit about us. Every single car we get at the garage, we try to make at least 200 to 300 free repair videos. Why we do that? Simply because our mission in the shop is to save you as much money as we can. All we need guys in return, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, that way we can keep providing this free information to you. Now, let me show you where you can develop guys oil leaks on that engine. We have it completely taken apart so we can demonstrate about each one of those. One of those leaks guys, okay, we are going to get all the things here, we need to get everything together, but we're talking about engine oil leaks. One of them, okay, on the bottom of your engine you have your oil pan, which is this one right here. That's the oil pan, and inside the oil pan will be your oil pump where it will suck engine oil and send it all over the engine. So if that oil pan starts leaking, okay, right here guys, now you don't even have a gasket. You have only silicone gasket maker, which is the original part, okay, that they use by Hyundai and many new vehicles that way. So if it starts leaking, you need to remove the oil pan and reseal it, and we have a video that explains how to do that. So you will notice that the oil leaks will be around the bottom of the engine only. Number two guys, if you guys have an oil leak close to the crankshaft, okay, I dropped a few things here. Close to the crankshaft pulley guys, okay, it is very likely that you have a bad front crankshaft seal. That crankshaft seal will be right here and it will prevent engine oil leaking around the crankshaft pulley. So if you have engine oil on the serpentine belt, okay, or if you have engine oil spinning, spraying everywhere around the belt, most likely front crankshaft seal went bad. Then you have another crankshaft seal like that, okay, on the back side of the engine towards the transmission, between the transmission and the engine. Now that leak guys will be able to be noticed from underneath between the transmission and the engine box, so that's very likely, okay, to notice it there. On top of the engine now guys, on top of the engine you have a valve cover. Believe me or not, every single car sooner or later will develop a valve cover leak. Why? Because it's exposed to extreme temperatures. You have a gasket and that gasket will usually turn really hard, it will lose its flexibility, it will flatten, and as a result you will start dripping oil, and usually it will result from the top of the engine, okay, around the valve cover you start dripping oil, okay, it can drip on the exhaust and it can get really stinky. Now, another thing, you have the guys, okay, variable timing solenoids, and they have seals, O-rings, and if they fail you can start dripping oil from them. The same thing applies to the camshaft position sensor. Most of the times you have intake, variable timing solenoid, intake, camshaft position sensor. On this side you have exhaust, variable timing solenoid, exhaust, camshaft position sensor. So you need to check that one as well. Now on the bottom of the engine guys, okay, another thing towards the front side, you have the oil filter housing, okay, right there. And that oil filter housing, if the oil filter is not tight, or the oil housing gasket is leaking, you can develop an oil leak as well. And lastly guys, okay, you hope that never happens, if you have external oil leak between the cylinder head and the engine block, okay, it's very likely that you have bad head gasket that will allow engine oil. For instance, you see, okay, that's the only section, okay, that prevents engine oil from running out of the engine. So you can see if that gasket fails here, or the engine block and the head, they were not cleaned good when the head gasket was replaced or cylinder head was replaced. It can cause engine oil to drip, and that can cause, okay, oil leaks as well. But in that case you will need to remove the cylinder head, replace head gasket, and that could be really expensive fix. So those are the most common ones that we see guys here at the shop. Hopefully the video will be helpful. Thank you for watching and see you next time.